Puck's not going to die. So I think you need to make sure that you're waiting until, let's say, level 6 on the Marcy, let's say Disruptor level 6 as well, Yule Scepter on the Void Spirit, before you're really capable of doing much with this Talon lineup. And of course, you've got a Medusa, right? You're happy for the game to delay out.
Yeah, it's a concern though if it can get to a stage where the game is going to be delayed, because I feel like for Thunder Awaken you have a lineup that realistically you have 3 heroes that can start fights. CK, he might feel like he doesn't need a blink this game just because honestly the Puck and the Penguin can fulfill that role. But whereas for the lads on Talon, it's really on to Makoto to start these fights. I suppose you could be playing off the back of the Marcy jump as well, but I think for me, really the early game, it's all on Makoto, like you said, but I'm just concerned that if Makoto doesn't have a good game and Thunder Awaken, and I think they've got really strong lanes as well, so Thunder Awaken should be fine, and once you're able to get out of the laning phase, maybe get that first item, then I feel like they're just going to look to control the map, and Talon, if they're not perfect with their ultimate usages, then they could really start to fall behind. It could be a case where just all the farm is given over to Savage.
Yeah, I'm favoring Thunder Awaken with this draft, just because they've got that potential to just absolutely annihilate a hero, and then it's not, again, one of these drafts where you kill someone and then nothing happens. You know, Chaos Knight wants to be playing aggressively on the map, wants to be using those phantasms to be able to assist with a lot of these pushes and converting that into towers. But yeah, like you said, if Talon execute correctly, then they are able to obviously take a lot of these aggressive movements through. As oh, there's another smoke. I really want this smoke to be given a cooldown, man. It's too much.
Yeah, I know you were mentioning that a while ago, saying that these goddamn smokes, everyone just uses them straight away. You always, what do you say? You don't want something to be like you have to do it. It feels like teams right now have to smoke to get out on the map and get the wards down. If they don't, then they're in a position where, I mean, you just see perfect example. Like Thunder Awaken, they smoke out, they get the ward on the cliff. Talon weren't just on the edge to scout out Thunder's position, so now Thunder have this ward and they're able to see Hyde place the observer down. So this should be a free D ward.
Wonder who they're going to give that one over to. I think Alone would massively benefit from being able to pick that one up for himself. Maybe they just give it over to a support. Hyde has to be careful with his positioning. He's getting wrapped around on a little bit.
So you could look at him swash through. You get some body blocks coming out, like the case, and I'm probably going to reveal their own ward up there as well. So someone eventually will be able to de-ward. Hyde's got a sentry right in. Yeah, Matthew's going to make sure that's not a possibility. Enemy's even going to block him out as well, so already off to a good start for Thunder. What were the bounties looking like? It was a 3-for-1.
I wonder if they're even just going to leave this here. Nah, he eventually does get rid of it, but maybe just thinking, maybe he thinks we de-warded it.
The mind game.
We could actually just keep the vision. Yeah. Oh, nothing even leveled up just yet. You actually got the headdress coming through for Matthew, so making this lane a little bit more stable. I mean, it's level 2 onwards that it starts to become a lot more difficult for Talon up here, but until then, Medusa, Savage, obviously a very individually skilled player, is going to be able to get the most out of this.
Do you feel like top lane really revolves around the pause for Talon, just so Savage can be farming in a safe location?
Potentially, but it's not exactly the easiest time to be able to do it, right? Like, if Hyde was a Dazzle instead, if a Snapfire comes forward, you can just pressure him away. Disruptor doesn't have that same level of oppressiveness. Well, I say that, but he's got 5 mangoes, so maybe he does.
Spam out abilities. Really does seem to be the name of the game. Kind of something we brought up in the draft. Maybe it's just Snake and Thunderstrike spam, and that might be something that they can't really contest. It is going to be a little bit difficult to close that distance. If they do, then of course, Talon being 2 range heroes is going to be very awkward, but take a look at our other side lane, bottom lane. Death Prophets under a little bit of pressure at the moment. KP trying to fly into the tree line thanks to the bonus movement speed from the rebound, so KP will be okay. It's looking like this lane is not going to be too easy, though. A CK and a Dazzle, and it's an incredibly strong lane combo.
Yeah, and the important thing is they hit that level 2 first, so KP, just with the Crypt Swarm, obviously needing it to be able to secure those range creeps, is certainly very vulnerable. But the fact that they're able to dodge that out means that now he's got the Spirit Siphon available for himself. If he does get gone on, you at least can sustain for that little bit longer if the rebound is on cooldown, for example. But I would say that Zephyr's probably going to be holding that one for as long as possible. actually pulling the cars back underneath the tower, and they're making an aggressive move here. This might be the first blood.
Kaz has got some stick charges to play with. Pandamu, can he get in range for the heal? You bet he can. One more right click does the job. Beautifully done. Pandamu just getting nearby to offer the heal that will give them the opportunity to find that first blood. Yes, the Chaos Knight still goes down, but at least they find the bounty.
What a massive heal bomb coming through from the Dazzle there. Hit it onto 3, and it was amped up as well because, surprisingly enough, it's physical damage. So that Reality Rift is going to provide that minus armor that you need for it to really be buffed up.
And the Death Prophet is a hero that has really big issues in regards to armor. So I like this read from KP. It's gone pure stats to start, and then into the Ring of Protection as well before any other components of the Soul Ring. So recognizing that there's going to be some big issues in regards to the physical damage in this lane.
Yeah, it gives them a whole lot more effective HP than the
top lane. Hyde might be in a bit of trouble. Nothing Savage can do to protect the Disruptors. Thunder, great read from them, capitalizing on just the Disruptor being slightly out of position.
This is how I help you get better.
Important thing for KP though is that he didn't die in that previous engagement, so he's already up to level 4. He's built himself up a nice amount of experience, so now you do have a little bit more freedom of Zephyr being able to rotate through and secure these power runes, which Kodo obviously wants to have protected with Alone here, although it looks like everyone's focused on this bottom rune. Looks like Alone won't be able to be completely greedy in this.
Something that Thunder always put the emphasis on. Matthew will always rotate. They like Pandamu rotating as well. No, it's a different position too. It will not matter. It's a very similar game between Alone and Makoto. These are heroes that need the power runes. They need the runes to be active early. And Matthew will always make some stacks as well at the same time. So already got a stack going at the hard camp, which is going to be nice for Puck to work towards a faster Witchblade.
Savage up on this top side. Isn't having the easiest time though. Sacred doing a great job. I honestly think he's one of the more skilled players within South America. Really just always seems to have a great time in lane. It carries life certainly much less so.
A lot of people mention that Whisper probably the strongest position 3 in South America, but Sacred definitely puts an argument on him to be able to be in contention as well. We're seeing that be the case. Sacred and Matthew in combination together, a lot of damage onto Savage and Hyde. Whenever they overstep their boundary, whenever Savage is not farming directly in front of the tower, it's so difficult for them to play. And you recognize this as well. Hyde's like, all right, we just have to drop a ward down. We need to see where Matthew is so we know if Savage is positioning safely or not.
And this is the thing, like you've gone this lane together. Oh. Actually, this is going to reveal the siege creep ended up hitting through onto Matthew just from the sidelines, just so they know they've got some kind of vision here. Matthew trying to get into position.
Well, TPing mid.
Actually, movement coming to mid. It's actually a pretty big deal. I mean, Alone doesn't end up dying here, but it's a lot of information revealed on the map. Actually ended up cancelling the TP on Matthew, and it might cost Savage.
Savage going to end up going down. All right. Meanwhile, they got the coil mid lane as well. Makoto's not going to be an easy kill. He's not playing with some ultimate charges for the moment. Alone just with the pure right-click damage and the help of Pandamu nearby will get the kill. And they've got the early grave as well. Pandamu with that level 4 just picked up. Alone's even able to find a rune and might consider chasing down Hyde. It looks like he wants the bounty. Isn't sure of Hyde's position at the moment. Unfortunately, he will not be playing with the bounty though.
See him there now. Ooh, he's getting a little hungry here on Alone. He wants to go back for Hyde. Matthew might be able to get this, and most likely will.
Beautiful spell casting. Matthew in prime position. It does give a lot of space to KP. Is he going to get this kill? No, because it's going to be alright. But we do see KP. I mean, often, especially when KP's playing the Death Prophet, he is a bit more of a...
Sacred might be in trouble. Ooh. 5 HP he was able to survive on there. Just making sure to run back underneath the tower in time. Let's show this threat, and there we go. Oh, actually went for the deny of the Observer Ward, but Matthew ends up getting it denied back in his face. This should be a kill being able to be picked up for them, unless he's able to get away with another great instance of spellcasting. This should be enough.
The big kill to find. Savage's third position in net worth at the moment. It's going to free up Hyde as well to... It's going to look to try and de-ward the jungle, where we saw that kill prior with the Observe Ward. Maybe even might get a stack and help secure the 8-minute power rune, which will really enable Mikoto to maybe get active. So I like this. Not only do they get the kill, but they're also looking to maximize what they can get afterwards with the kind of the +1, an extra hero not being up top.
Look at how much emphasis they're putting into making sure that they're not just getting chain stunned on KP. This first item BKB after the Soul Ring. He's just like, I am getting off my Spirit Cyphers. You are not stopping me as long as someone else is scouting out for me.
He does like this first item BKB. I see him do it very often when he's playing the Death Prophet alone. I've been a bit of trouble for the moment. They've got the sentry nearby, and Matthew as well. He's going to be in some trouble. Pandamu might be able to get in range for the Grave, but I don't think that's going to be enough to prevent them from getting the kill. A glimpse back into the river, but Mikoto has got an ultimate charge up in a couple of seconds. Arrestive abilities as well to play with, so they might turn to Pandamu instead as Zephyr.
Back on the low ground.
Oh, what a beautiful dispose. Chucks the Dazzle inside the river as Mikoto's going to pounce on that opportunity, but there is a threat moving on over because doesn't have the Phantasm to play with. A Remnant's going to hold him back for the moment. And even Zephyr tossing Mikoto away. So beautifully done as Talon bring multiple supports mid to help Mikoto get off to a good start.
Yeah, and all three of their cores sitting on the top side of that net worth bracket, but it's going to start going back the other way, of course. 3 people having to walk back together as a trio just because they used everything in that recent engagement. But Savage, at least he's been able to get a lot of space. Same sort of thing with KP. This is exactly what you want if you're Talon. You want that BKB, and you want that plate mail picked up on KP ASAP.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I really want to see them playing with KP.
Dire's
Observe Ward is going to scout out Mikoto though, but I love this. You got Exo, you want to pop it, you want to force rotations down bottom. They've done just that. Let's see how aggressive Zephyr gets though. He's going to jump in, coil. It's only onto 1. So it's not going to be the greatest to hold the back. Even Sacred's going to look to rotate as well. With the threat of the Rolling Thunder, it's going to be difficult for Talon to take this team fight. They need to wait out the ultimate from Sacred, and maybe they can reinitiate off the back of Mikoto's jump. KP's hesitant for the moment, backing off towards the T1 tower, but Mikoto's in. The burst is too fast for Pandamu to react. The Grave not coming out fast enough. Now KP is going to chase down another target, but it's got to be cautious. Alone with the damage is starting to stack up. Orb's going to be up in a couple of seconds, and KP will recognize this as the Death Prophet repositions back to safety.
Okay, pretty even trade. You know, 2 for 1. The 1 was a core though, so means that Talon are going to be feeling okay about that. And of course, Savage continuing to farm. He's just going to keep this scaling up. But of course, early on, because he is more capable than anyone of just making these cores that you think shouldn't be able to scale quite as effectively a factor. I know whenever there's stand-in possibilities, Picard is always towards the top of the list, even if he's from a lesser appreciated region, I would say.
This one was not for you.
So do we feel like this is a bit of a window here for Thunder Awaken to make some plays across the map, knowing that Exo's on cooldown?
Maybe, but I guess the Rolling Thunder is about to come back up. I mean, that's the advantage, right, of mid lane. Dream Coil being used, so that kind of takes away from it, right? They were just trying to get one of those free kills. Matthew as well has the level 6 and makes sure buys him home immediately after the 10-minute mark, just so he can convert with the Mortimer's Kisses. This is always what you want with a puck. You want someone that's able to make the most out of your Dream Coil before the BKBs are a factor, so that you yourself can start to scale a bit more.
See what the play is going to be from Talon if they're going to react to top. Let's get the Static Storm with the ready. In combination with Mikoto, but Radiant, they also have some ultimates to play with in this lane. Who's going to get the jump though? Mikoto. Moving on forward, they're instantly going to try and pounce on Sacred. Oh, what a beautiful Static Storm, but Pandamu is able to get out of range. So the Grave is going to be there in the nick of time. Even Savage looking to rotate to pump the damage in. But they don't get the kill fast enough. Sacred has an opportunity with the Rolling Thunder. It is actually going to go back in. Sacred offering the control. So now the rest of Thunder can consider about diving under the tower. They know that Savage TP'd in. The threat of the rotation off the back of KP joining up top. That will hold Thunder from getting any more out of this.
KP at that time was also able to take the tier 1 tower plot.
KP might be in some trouble. They've got the Coral to work with. He's definitely a tanky boy, but with the Scatter Blast, point blank from Matthew, already 4 points in it. Look at the rotation. Bakaz as well enters the outpost, drags back Zephyr. And he wants a high five for good measure. I love to see that from Bakaz. One of the more active position ones in the South America region, always trying to find an avenue for him to get involved in the early game. And even if it just is a kill onto a support, it gives them a lot more control and farm that they can find now up top.
Tower has fallen.
It's honestly right now, even though it's only a 1k differential, it feels like Talon should be more ahead. The difference right now is spellcasting. It seems like Thunder Awaken, they're just perfect with every single little bit of execution. And Talon, they're almost there. They're like 90% there, but just little things like not catching the Dazzle inside of that Static Storm for another couple of seconds so that you kill off the Pangolier means that you just give up 2 or 3 extra kills for no reason.
I brought it up before as well, but I'm very concerned on how Talon now are going to be able to scale, in particular with the Void Spirit. It's a great Void Spirit game, but this is a hero that you do have difficulties with keeping up in farm. And Makoto went for 3 points in Aether Remnant. He went a 3-1-4 build, so his potential to keep up in farm is a little bit more difficult. You really need to find these kills. So he could definitely do that in combination with Zephyr. You know, Zephyr unleashes on cooldown at the moment, but it's going to be a lot more difficult with how Thunder Awaken in position. I've been very impressed with Pandamu and Matthew as well. It just feels like the supports are always playing with their cores, making sure that it's always a difficult kill.
Looking high. I mean, it's optimistic, but it kind of is what the game needs, right? Those BKBs, he wants to try and counter them by going for a very early Aghanim Scepter. But it's going to be quite some time until he's able to get to that point. Right now, what Talon they're looking for the BKB on KP. They've nearly got it. I don't even know if they want to make plays with it yet, though, until Makoto actually has that Yule Scepter. I think he needs it. He needs to make sure that he's able to dive in onto the backlines, lock down the Dazzle, KP pops the Exorcism, and just runs in. Probably with assistance from the rebound, just to give him even more movement speed.
Yeah, I really feel like Talon... I want to see them playing reactionary, because I think if you use Exo and you only get 1 kill, or you might not even get a kill, then Thunder Awaken are just going to instantly go mid and take this tower. And as soon as you lose the tier 1 tower, then Savage, the triangle
Can't
is...
farm as much.
Exactly, it's a lot more accessible for Thunder Awaken, and they have a lineup that's going to run at you. Like Medusa, I believe will carry them late game, but it's a question of can you get there. So Talon, I think their main objective for them, if you get pickoffs in the side lane with Marcy and Void Spirit, that's perfect. But I think you need to keep your ultimates to defend this tier 1 tower mid.
Yeah. Well, they're going for a smoke. They want to try and catch these higher priority targets.
KP's huge. KP is huge. And a beautiful coil is going to be able to set up for that as Sacred is going to be in with the combo. The team fight from Thunder. As soon as they get their ultimates off, there's going to be no competition. There's 2 down. Let's see what else they can get out of it from Thunder. Instantly looking to evade into the jungle.
That's just a bit of poor positioning, to be honest. He had the BKB coming out to himself on the courier. Would have been able to turn around if he had a confidence. I mean, you're inside enemy lines. They had all the vision, and you had absolutely nothing to be able to play around. So just a little bit too overconfident there from KP.
And it looks like they won't be able to protect the tower. It would be beautiful if they could. I mean, KP is going to be back up shortly with the threat of the Exo. They know that Radiant did use multiple ultimates, but looks like the tower nonetheless will still go down. So that is a huge win for Thunder Awaken.
He cancelled it. He cancelled the TP.
Oh.
He's all the way back in base. So, I mean, maybe he just didn't want to reveal himself potentially, but, I mean, every time that your movement around the map isn't super effective, this is going to be a free pickoff that might even just convert it to Roche. Like, no points in the little shredder just yet. I want to see 1 point in that, and then it can absolutely just get shredded. Never mind. They're not even going to wait.
You got the reality rift maxed out mid lane. What's going on? Matthew in a bit of trouble at the moment. You can get a freebie, but Pandamu's going to really make him work for it. Because gets the coil. It's holding the Void Spirit into place for the chain control afterwards. Makoto, he can't get out. And meanwhile, look at this KP. Oh no. An Exo and a BKB, but Talon, they've got no way to turn this fight back around. So this is without a doubt a free Roche for Thunder.
Yeah, that's disastrous. They need to do something about Panda Move. The man is playing amazingly right now. So many clutch trades. He's really got the 1 point in it as well. Just looking to really max out the effectiveness of that poison touch. Have Old Mage Shard coming out to him just yet? No, not quite, but it's the 15-minute mark and he's got that poison touch at full levels, so yeah, this is looking real good for Thunder Awaken so far.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Excuse me, since when did this Shallow Grave... Since when was this a component? The heal amp per 10% missing?
Recent-ish.
Okay, I did... I never knew that. What? Damn, there's too many
Gotta
Dota
play more
changes.
support, brother.
Dazzle is it's a relatively fun support. If you have a good lane, it's fun, but it can then be, if you don't have heroes to play in front, then you can also kind of just get chased down, but they do have that this game. Pango to make some space. Alone's had a very good game. 6-1 and 5. This is what you're hoping for out of your stand-in. Like you said, young gun, 17-year-old, if you can build some confidence, and with the start that he's had, I feel like he's going to be flowing in confidence in this game 1.
Well, they got the Yule set.
He'll drop the kisses to try and give some vision, so Alone be put in a position where he has to use the coil to be able to cancel that TP.
Oh, have to be careful here, Hyde. You're up against a Blink Dagger on a CK. Alright.
Now, the rest of Talon are going to be in trouble. Makoto, he's got one more ultimate to play with. Assimilate up to the north. They're still hunting.
Okay.
Picard is in, and oh, you just said it. It's the Picard show. Mega kill streak for the Chaos Knight. Really, everyone else as well for Thunder Awaken. 18 kills. They are on a roll in this game 1.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
How's Savage doing with his farm? He's got the Manta style. He's looking to build into the Skadi. Of course, once he gets to that point, he'll be a lot more formidable, but he's already fallen a couple of levels behind this CK because of all these team fights not going so well. I like what KP's doing, though. He's just staying up on this top side. As soon as people start to do something on the map, he's going to continue to try and pressure in this lane, trying to force rotations back, or at least make them make a more difficult decision. Instantly, as soon as he shows, he gets pinged out on the map, but yeah, I think if the next team fight that Talon take with KP, popping that XO BKB doesn't go well for them, I don't think there's going to be a coming back into this game.
Double down.
Great position from
Five-man
Thunder.
smoke.
See if they can get Alone. Zephyr's going to start with the Blink and the Static Storm as well. Beautifully done. I think that was the Blink reveal as well. See if they can chain this into anything else. Thunder Awaken. They might lose Panda Moo. Once maybe his position is going to be caught off guard because we'll do nothing to keep his Daz alive. They're actually looking at TP and so they want to take the fight. KP, great reactions with the BKB. They're going to be able to hold back the Chaos Knight for the moment as well. They're having some difficulties with right-clicking, but Sacred, look at the target prioritization, just straight towards Savage's location, and because will pump in the damage as Savage has no opportunity to right-click down the Chaos Knight, and now Makoto is next on the agenda. A Yule Scepter maybe to buy some time. He's going to be able to dodge the Chaos Bolt. An Astral Step in a couple of seconds, and Sacred does the dirty work with the shield crash. And meanwhile, KP and Matthew playing tag, and well, Alone's going to step in. A little bit unfair with the +1, but Thunder Awaken. Another incredible sequence of events for these lads.
And Makoto's actually playing pretty well. Like, for a 0-4, like his spellcasting in all of these team fights, his ability to evade and escape is pretty good. That time around, it was just a case of Talon didn't use their ultimates. They used the Static Storm to be able to pick off the puck. Savage wasn't able to use his. KP was too low on mana. This is what happens when you go like Boots of Speed, Soul Ring, Black King Bar. You just don't have the mana to sustain yourself during these longer team fights. You literally spent a good 15 seconds chasing after a position 5 Dazzle without doing any damage to him.
You still got the Aegis advantage on Bakaz as well, so 50 seconds left. And they're going to make sure they eke out any little bit of gold they can get with this second life. See just how they're posturing across the map. Talon really can't get out. They've got some pretty decent wards to play with. Maybe they'll look to smoke with the Aegis expiring shortly.
Got a Blink Dagger as well onto KP, so it's about playing around that vision. But again, it's mostly in areas that, I mean, Thunder Awaken don't want to be in right now. Smoking up. I don't think they saw that one, though, because they made sure to be hugging to the closest side of their own observer ward. So it seems like these two teams are going to connect right now.
Radiant are scanning.
Leads are off the mark, Radiant scanning down bottom. They're going to see
They'll
Matthew.
take Matthew at this stage.
Yeah, they'll take whatever they can get. Killed to buff them up. KP's going to look to jump to Dazzle as well. They might not be able to get Matthew for the moment. Makoto's going to look to fall with the damage. Meanwhile, on the river, though, KP with the Exo just charging down Pandamu is going to be forced to Grave and TP out. Talon, if they can get any more out of this... Looks like, unfortunately, they won't be able to because he's even threatening about jumping back in because they got alone as well with the combo. Coil leashing them together, but they're not able to deal with Medusa. There's a decent fight for Talon. It's Savage. Stonegaze is out, controlling because they'll get rid of the Chaos Knight. A big streak for them to be able to fight, but can they keep Makoto alive? It's Sacred. A swashbuckle from afar, but again, Zephyr's in with a combo. Buffing up Savage's damage thanks to the sidekick. Some much needed gold that Talon are able to pump into the Medusa.
Top tower is under attack.
Oh, they might just catch a glimpse of him, but speaking of glimpse, he won't be able to get it off, even with those full points into it. Man, Savage is the one person keeping them in this game right now. Great of the ultimate, making sure not to get a little bit too excited. Made sure to hold it to the very end.
Dire's middle tower
First down
is under
Kaz
attack.
for his only second death of the game. A whole lot to be able to bring him back into this as looks like he's going into a Mage Slayer as well on Kaz. I don't hate this. I wouldn't hate to see him go a Bloodthorn either, just to get more of that burst damage. You've already got some of those silence potentials coming through from
Sacred.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Rolling Thunder is actually not going to use it. KP doesn't see anyone else on the higher gun though, so a little bit worried about Thunder's position.
There's an avenue for Talon. I mean, 400 gold away from the Skadi for Savage. He's level 18. Once he gets up to that level 20, just for the extra... I would say he's probably going to go the Stonegaze duration.
It's really a question if Savage can right-click in the fights. We saw previously where KP put a lot of importance on jumping the Dazzle, and that meant that Thunder Awaken kind of had to play it. Jump in. Alicia to 2 with the Mortimer Kiss. That's a lot of damage with a fork from Sacred. They chain control Makoto perfectly. And now Sacred, he can roll on 4 to catch out Zephyr. A beautiful jump all off the back of Alone's Park.
Bounty.
Yep, immediately pinging out afterwards as well. Makoto saying there's vision up on this high ground. That's how they're able to jump us. Probably shouldn't be the case where you're just walking around when you have a sentry ward already placed down previously and you've got Aether Remnant, Kinetic Field, plenty of stuff to be able to reveal some pretty obvious cliff wards. But that time around, I think Makoto was going for the style play. He wanted to get to the very edge of the coil leash and use the Yule Scepter, but just wasn't able to land it. I've tried it. I've tried it even when it's not in a pro game. It's so hard, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is where pro players are just testing out, practicing, I should say, on a consistent basis. You know, all the Manta dodges, they got the little arcade games for them as well. Manta illusion dodges, mischief dodges, and everything like that, and making sure your mechanics are perfect. But let's see, Matthew, this is a great position for the Snapfire. Look at this. Smoke's gonna pop. Oh, a great blink out as well from Matthew.
I almost feel like they smoked underneath that ward as well, like with one hero up onto the top of the stairs there. But well, again, it's all about the spell casting. That's what's setting Thunder Awaken apart right now. It's nothing overly strong about strategy. The draft is good. It all synergizes together very well to blow up these heroes that need, obviously, to be able to get off their Stone Gaze, their BKB, their Exorcism, their Spirit Siphons, their, you know, elusive spells in the case of Makoto. But right now, it's really just they're finding the right targets and they're executing better.
Battle for the haste.
Very tempting.
Makoto's gonna take the bait. Jesus Christ, the bashes it out. Oh no, Makoto. He's gonna be in some trouble here. And yours maybe to the dissimulate, but Sacred veers back towards the Void Spirit's location. And now Savage is going to look to use the Stonecase defense if they need to buy back to protect the Medusa. You can't let Savage go down like this. Bakar's going to be in, jumping the Medusa for the damage. Savage not pumping enough out for the moment. The rest of Talon are nearby to try and protect it, but they haven't dealt with the Dazzle. So Bakar playing with the Grave, the BKB as well, soon to expire, so they get rid of the Chaos Knight, but that's all they'll find, as now they'll turn back to KP. 4 down on Talon, a buyback forced out as well, and all they get is Bakar's life.
Means that they're not able to do too much extra pushing, but yeah, they took the bait. It's as simple as that. You know, Thunder Awaken, they hadn't revealed on the map in a little bit. That Haste Druid feeling a little bit juicy, especially considering, again, how well Pandamu is playing and so evasive. But yeah, ends up costing them so much more. Third death on Savage, but oh no, they found another.
Oh lord. Have an opportunity to take a look at that previous fight as well. See how it broke down between Talon and Thunder. It's just, I don't know. Whenever you're getting to the start on the Void Spirit, it was crazy how he almost was able to stay alive through it all as well. But you mentioned Thunder and their spell casting. It's really been the big factor for them to have this lead.
Bro, Sacred is 13-1 and 11. Like, he is just doing everything perfect in the lane, in the team fights, with the control, with the disarms onto the Medusa. Like, everything is on point.
Really, so the one fight that Talon had success in was that fight in the mid lane where we saw KP jump the Dazzle and forced Thunder to turn their attention to protecting the Dazzle, which meant they weren't just swarming into the Void Spirit's location or swarming on top of the Medusa so she wasn't freely right-clicking. That is something that Talon, they need to replicate, because Pandamu's doing way too much. We saw in that replay as well where Panda got the Grave off onto Bakars. Bakars was able to stand his ground, which often TKs towards the later stages you can't do versus the Medusa. So Panda's got to go. This hero has to be the first to die. But now with the Aegis picked up on Bakars, he can just position a little bit more aggressive to make sure the backline is protected. And look at KP, man. They're so greedy. BKB, but there's no hope. He makes it out. Sacred's got a bash. Beyond godlike is their offlaner, man. Thunder. What a way to kick off the tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. Any fears that they were going to be perhaps a little bit weaker without Dark Margot is certainly not founded alone. Feels like he's plotting into this
bottom
team
lane,
just fine.
because is completely split. I don't think they can get the kill anyway. Alright.
If they're going to see this here, the sidekick on the Medusa illusion. Just know that he maybe can't come back into the lane. Ooh, because he is a
he jumped straight on Savage. Oh, he jumped straight onto Savage's location. The Stone Gaze into the TP out, and yeah, they got a Delta split. Hyde to the left, and Zephyr to the right. Rolling Thunder will be used from Sacred to try and cancel the TP out. Meanwhile, top lane, though, Makoto's going to be in some trouble as well. Alone and Matthew also get another kill across the map.
All right. This is just... it's just playing so well, man. I'm trying to think of an avenue for Talon to come back into it that we haven't already mentioned. Like, it really is that simple. They need to find Pandamu, and they need to find Thunder Awaken behind him, but he's just so disciplined. His positioning is always on point. That's never going to be the case. And now you've even got these supports starting to scale. Aghanim, Shard on both the Snapfire as well as the Dazzle. Like, how do you deal with this? It's just so much control.
Oh, alert! He's going for it! Oh, this guy's crazy, he'll get it. Oh, well, Alone is feeling himself this game, and I don't blame him. 10, 2, and 15.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Boy. So going high gun, I think, is going to be... Maybe that is the thing. You've got an 18,000 lead, you've got the Aegis, but still high gun is a different beast. The Chaos Knight is not one of the prime carries that you would think of as the best high ground sieger.
Well, you've got a Skadi, though, so he's very, very durable. I feel like he can consider himself here, especially considering they've got that siege creep wave.
Radiant structures are
All these
fortified.
units. Like, the siege creep isn't even being hit right now by the tower.
And top lane, Cape is going to be really cautious about this TP. Matthew, oh my lord, he was so close to cancelling that. Dude, Tide's almost dying in the shadow army. Glimpse back. See what they can. If they can poke down the cars. They'd like to force out some abilities. They're doing a really good job to not put themselves in a position where Thunder can catch them off guard. A deep attempt from Sacred. And my guy's chilling. Nice escape.
Well, Aghanim Scepter nearly finished on the Void Spirit. That will certainly give them a little bit of a hand. They're going for a smoke right now while the Rolling Thunder is on cooldown. Most of the time, I would be like, man, just farm up that extra 100 gold. But it feels like the second you reveal yourself on the map, Thunder Awaken are going to have a response to it. So right now, they just want to take away a big part of that team fight.
Drop the ward, but there was a sentry. Sure. Ooh. DD, do they have a bottle?
They do, but he just ends up picking it up. Not wanting to waste any time. Feels like he needs it right now. It's in, it was in Savage's backpack.
Alright, Talon, they have to take a fight in a choke point. They've got a ward, the perfect spot them to fight, but it looks like Thunder read this perfectly. They're going to get mid shoved out, they're going to get top shoved out.
I mean, they got the vision, right? They got right on top of Hyde and Zephyr. They know exactly where all of Talon are positioning themselves.
I didn't even see that.
Yeah, they can play with complete freedom right now. It feels like a little bit of a Hail Mary right now, but they need to... It almost feels like they need to get a gem on Talon. Like, they're in a losing position, but they can't play the map.
Hear me out.
Radiant's
Hear me
middle
out.
tower is under
We got
attack.
Philosopher's Stone on a Hyde. So you need 20 minutes.
Dire's top tower is under
But you'll
attack.
get the GPM. This
Radiant's
Scepter,
middle tower
it'll
has
come out. It'll probably come out way too late. But
Sure, if you wait 20 minutes, Talon have a chance, but are we going to get to that stage? Probably not.
The positioning.
No glyph available, so...
Zephyr, there's a really big kill if they can find it. Sacred, he's going to go down. Makoto gets a streak, and now he's going to move over to Matthew. The rest of Radiant, they went towards the T2 tower up top, so they're going to be slow to connect to the Snapfire's location.
Can't be too keen, though,
KP, this is... You got to be cautious. You don't see anyone else on Thunder. It's going to jump up forward. Limmer's going to protect him for the moment. They'll drop the ward down as well for the vision, so they've got firm control of this area now as Pandamu's going to go down. So, alright, Talon, look, get a couple of kills. You lose the tier 2 tower up top. You'll reclaim your jungle. So, some small victories for them.
But that's the difference of having that Aghanim Scepter on the Void Spirit, right? You're actually able to instantly jump on top of the Pangolier, get that silence through. Can't do anything about it. No roll-up, no nothing. So, right now, it's not even putting Thunder Awaken in a bad position. I mean, obvious, 18k net worth lead, but he's only 400 or so gold away from being able to pick up the last component of the Aeon Disc as well for the Pangos. So, it almost feels like there's nowhere that you're going to be picking off outside of him maybe getting stone gazed and Medusa just right-clicking him down.
KP could be in some grave danger here if he sticks around for a bit too long. What do they got? They could gobble up. I think maybe the only way they get him is gobble up Chuck and CK. Because KP's going to clear this wave and probably blink into the tree line and TP out.
Him having Shivas would be pretty huge, though. Just providing a lot of that attack speed reduction, particularly for the CK.
And even just the healing reduction versus the lifesteal versus the dazzle is really important. I know they're behind 9,000. Sorry, I should say 9% for Talon at the moment. There is an avenue back in this game without a doubt. This Medusa will carry them. You got to get to that stage though. And Savage he's getting there. He's going to be working on a Silver's Edge next item. It really just comes down to, can you take a fight in a choke point where Medusa can stand his ground and right click, where really if Thunder get the jump, Talon are really in shambles. So Talon, they need to take a fight around a choke point where you have a ward, where Deuce is playing with sidekick, and where KP is able to get vision of the support and look to force Panda out of the middle of the fight. If you can take Dazzle out of the equation like we've been saying, and have Medusa continue to do the damage against the cause, Medusa has some very good matchups here. So they can do it, but I think really it's going to be another 7 minutes. I think they're looking really for them to be able to find their items around that next Roche. I don't think you can let that Roche go for free.
It's just so hard, though, man. Like, even more so once these Aeon discs start to come out. Like, Pango's nearly got his, Dazzle's building into one as well. And what do you do once you get to that stage? The only one that's able to poke on the back lines is the Void Spirit. Like, if anyone else commits, they're in. Like, they have committed to the team fight. So it helps a little bit that Makoto, of course, has the Aghanim Scepter, so he's got a couple of charges of the Resonant Pulse, and he's got the Spell Amp talent as well. So you should be able to pop it. But you need to go in, pop the Aeon discs, and then disengage, and then hope that the second time when you don't have the element of surprise is still going to go your way. Like, it's a lot to ask for sure.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt, indeed. But I'm just looking to see what the items are soon to be completed, though, for the lads on Thunder. What they need to be able to close out this game with a 17,000 lead. We are closing in on the Bloodthorn for Pakaz. Did Alone? Did BKB just completed? I think so, right?
E-Blade, I believe.
Well, he's got a 9-second BKB as well to work with, so it's going to be very difficult for them to deal with the puck. Let's see. There's that gobble up into the toss in KP. Oh, they get the stun as well. Zephyr, though, buy him some valuable time, but that time is not long enough. My lord, because...
What, 1 second?
What the hell was that damage? And they're under a ward now as well. They're going to see Hyde along with Savage. You got to get out if you're Talon.
It's not looking good for the defense, that's for sure. But yeah, all credit needs to go to Thunder Awaken. They're just playing this to perfection. Really feels like they're just trying to dance around the map as much as possible with Talon. They feel like these wards that they're placing are gonna last 2 minutes tops, and they're just like, well, where can we safely farm for Savage in this next couple of minute window? All right, let's just try and do that. And they're just moving around as a team, because outside of that, again, the pick off for Thunder Awaken is good, the synergy is great, the spell usage is excellent, and the cohesion is just on point.
Because first to reach level 25, that is actually something we haven't really addressed as well for the puck alone. He's 24 and almost a quarter, so once he's able to get that BKB piercing coil, that is going to prove to be very difficult for the Void Spirit, and really the Death Prophet as well. That's a hero that needs to be mobile in these fights, so all eyes on if Alone can pick that up at a decent time.
And Talon are waiting up top, assuming that someone's going to come up here and try and defend the tower, but Thunder Awaken is just way too disciplined for that. No one's going to come on their own. It's all going to be as a team. They know how strong the strengths of their lineup. It's all in the pickoff. So it'll be a tier 1 tower, but it's a tier 1 tower that they don't really care about right now on Thunder Awaken. Again, the car's just farming on his own, but he's got 2 wards really helping him out, so there's no way that he's going to get ganked here. Completely unknown. Man, he's got the DD bottled as well. What more can this guy want?
They do have a really good ward to play with Thorn Talon. What up top by the cliff, next to the Roche Pit. Do you need the illusion?
It is definitely a ward. It's all they got, though.
Yes, but... Well, come on. What we mentioned now, a choke point with a ward. And that is a prime location next to the outpost as well. They're probably going to need some buybacks if they're going to be able to take this fight. And, well, they have the outpost control to be able to do so. The only issue is that they will have to address some of their lanes, in particular this mid lane, the super creeps. Gobble someone up.
Coming down to Savage, like he's just moved the flicker in for himself, so wants to be able to disjoint a few of these projectiles coming through his way, get out of the silence from the puck. A lot of little things right now.
Is there what? Makoto's in! They don't have Savage nearby. Trying to force some reactions. Static Storm's gonna get laid down as well, but look at the side. Pakaz with the double damage room rips apart the Disruptor, but Savage has entered the fight. A decent amount of damage for the moment. They got the Stone Case as well, but Sacred just rolls on forward. A slight control out of the Abyssal Blade means that Pakaz can reposition. In fact, they'll toss it back in. Why not turn towards the Medusa next as the mana is starting to be drained away, and the health pool will soon follow as Pakaz is on an ultra kill. Why not look to give this man a rampage? But goddamn Matthew, he'll take that one away, and they'll give him some tips as well as Thunder Awaken. What a team fight for them.
And Thunder's given all the tips over to Matthew. You got to give that one to Sacred. I really want to see a replay of that. We might not have enough time to do it, but that was just on point from him. I'll show you what I saw if we get a chance to see it, but they're pushing these tier 4 towers, so we might not get a chance.
Buyback on Makoto. They got Glyph as well to work with, and well, they're not even going to try and hold this. Thunder Awaken will take game 1. An incredibly convincing game 1 as well, coming out from the South American lads.
I'd like to see a replay if possible, just so we can talk over it, because the big thing that I was looking at in that engagement was Sacred again. Like, what was his score to end that on? He was 14-2 and 14. In that team fight, literally the split second after the Stone Gaze was pushed, he's rolling through, he Abyssal Blades the Medusa. So he's not able to get full effectiveness out of that Stone Gaze, chase down Pakaz, because Pakaz was in a really vulnerable spot. With the extra movement speed from the rebound, the Stone Gaze, the Skadi, he probably would have died. But just that small play, he did everything perfectly that game. I couldn't be more impressed.
Yeah, without a doubt. Couldn't be more impressed with Thunder Awaken and how they're able to set themselves up. It does seem like we do have the capability to watch that team fight. So we'll see how, of course, Sacred was able to set themselves up and secure that fight.
I mean, it's the Aeon Disc coming into the equation as well, right? It ends up popping. He breaks out of the silence because of it. He's like, oh, okay, well, I don't really care. All of this damage coming out onto me, and this is it. Savage is in, he finds Pakaz, he ends up being able to pop the BKB in a good spot. There's that Abyssal Blade coming through at the perfect time. You can't chase, he gets the backlines, he's this constant disrupting of force, and that just means that Pakaz is free to do whatever the hell he wants in these team fights. Like, that was excellent gameplay coming through from Thunder Awaken. They are one to watch out for.
Yeah. Doubt, I mean, a lot of people were mentioning how there's always a question mark, of course, with the stand-in coming through. Alone looked really, really good in this game. Was incredibly impressed with his performance on the puck, and not just him, everyone. Thunder Awaken felt like they fulfilled